Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Blokees Action Edition G1 Megatron. So, before we get this guy open and we start building him, let's take a look at the box here. So, up front, nice picture of Megatron there. You got Laserbeak, chest and eyes that have lights, Action Edition pieces, batteries, stuff, Blokees figures, G1 Megatron, Transformers 40 years, $38. That's how much I bought this guy for at my local toy store. Warning, on this side, you got a dope picture of Megatron there. That's actually pretty awesome. And on this side, all the things that he can do and stuff, I guess. I don't know. On the top, another dope picture of Megatron. On the bottom, stuff. And on the back, poses and things that he comes with and all that. So that is cool. But now I'm going to get my trusty scissors here and we are going to get into this video. So I'm going to open the box all the way up, and then it's going to be a speed build of the actual process. So, and then we'll get into the review. A brand new parable. Nice, okay. I'm gonna get this open here. Oh boy, okay, this is a lot. Actually, I'm gonna get all this, my camera and all that set up, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have all the stuff laid out here, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and just get into it. So here he is all built up, and my, does he look absolutely fantastic. I do quite like this guy. He's pretty cool. Full disclaimer, or disclosure, words, I don't know. From when you saw me build this thing to right now, it's actually been 12 hours. I let it sit like overnight, mess with him just to get a feel of him, just so I could do this review properly. But yeah, so there is Megatron here, and he looks absolutely awesome. Looks really good there. You can see his face there. Average G1 Megatron head sculpt. His body, his arms, down to his legs. Looks quite good. So yeah. Articulation wise, his head can go up here. You do have a ball joint at the neck and a ball joint at the head, so he can look, oh, you want to keep that piece down. He can look up a little bit, he can look down quite a bit. His head can do a full 360. You do get tilt too if you want it. The arms, they can do a full 360. Just gotta make sure things are out of the way. Shoulders can go out about that far. There's a hinge at his main body and a hinge underneath the shoulder piece, so you can get all that kind of movement there. You do have double jointed elbows. You can get about that much, or depending on how you move it, you could probably get a little more. Like so. The wrists are on ball joints, so these can move any way you want them. And the fingers, actually, I'll take off his hand here, so I'll show you. The fingers are all separate pieces. They're all on ball joints at the base, and then there's 2 hinges at each finger. Move the thumb out the way. This one doesn't like to go down, but it is there. There you go. So you can see their range of articulation. It's a bit hard to move that tip joint, but it does work. And then the thumb just has 1 hinge right here at the only, actually no, it has the ball joint and that hinge. My bad. So yeah, and then both hands are the exact same. So you do have an ab crunch here. You can see right there. You do have a peg at the waist here that goes into there, so this can swivel. It's not a ball joint, so you don't get a lot of movement there. The legs, these hip skirt pieces can go out if you need them to, and these front skirt pieces here can go up, so the legs can go up about that far. These back ones go out as well, back about that far, and the legs on my copy like to pop off a lot, so it's just put them back on. It's not a big deal. They can go out that far. You do get a swivel at the thigh there. You do get a double jointed knee right there. The toes, or his foot, can go down, and you do have a toe joint, but the foot can also go up. So toe joint can go up, and you do have lots of ankle tilt if you need it. On the leg panels, these things, actually I'll show it better on this leg because this one's actually loose. These things come up for some reason. If you want them to, I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. For some reason on my copy on the right leg, it does not want to go down all the way, but oh well. He still looks quite good. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that is your articulation. He looks great for his proportions. His hands look a little too big. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. They don't look that bad, his hands, but it's just funny the way they look. So yeah. But yeah. Here is his back. I forgot to show this off. You got the barrel of the gun mode, even though he doesn't transform, back there. And it looks even quite nice from back here as well. So yeah. Accessory wise, you get a lot. So first thing, you get the throne here, the Nemesis throne. And we can put this here. We can get him in a sitting position. Do one of these. Get his arms up here. And you can just, yeah, kind of finagle it a little bit. You can kind of get that going. Him sitting on the Nemesis. Actually, I'm giving this throne to my Bumblebee movie Megatron, because I would rather him have it than this guy, because this guy has a display base as well. I'm probably going to put him on the display base. But yeah, this Nemesis is going to my Bumblebee movie Megatron. So yeah, but you can use it with him if you'd like to. It does look quite good. You can see some nice detail on the Decepticon symbol back there. Yes. There's ports here. You could store like the fusion cannon and laser beak and other accessories and stuff. So yeah, I'll bring this back in after too, just to show you guys all that. So there you go. You have refractor. This is literally just the camera. The other accessories that he holds, you either swap out the hand or he has the tabs in the hands for him, but this guy does not have any of those. So he literally just grips on this with his bare hands. I'll show you here. It's kind of funny. If I can get it to work. Okay, it's running away from me. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. But whatever, it's not gonna work. But there you go. You get the idea. He can't really actually like grip onto that firmly, but yeah. And then you also get little Crimzeek here. What just fell? Oh my god, everything's falling. You get little Crimzeek here. It's just made out of all yellow plastic, and you get a little face there. This thing is going in the accessory drawer the second this review is done. So yeah. You get his prime killing gun, which is just purple and gray, and he can't hold this. In his hands there are these tabs, you can see right there, and he has slots on both his weapons, so you can just plug that there and then wrap his hand around it, and there you go. Now he has his blaster from the '86 movie that he used to kill Optimus. Yeah, that is pretty cool. We're gonna take this off. Just remove it from the tab there. And there you go. You also get, of course, the signature Megatron weapon here, his fusion cannon. Now, Megatron does have a light up feature, but the fusion cannon does not. But it does have another cool feature. If you pull on the back here, the barrel splits open. That is so cool. It's such a cool feature to me. And then to close it, you just push on the barrel. I wouldn't recommend pushing back on the back side here because it doesn't really go down like that. So just push on the barrel to close it, and then if you want to open it again, just do that. But if you notice, Megatron here doesn't have any ports on his arms, but you can actually change that. So you can come to this little silver piece here, and you can just completely remove it. And then they give you these optional pieces that have these little cutouts here. Put that on his arm, like so, and now he has a port there. And then you can take his fusion cannon and plug it on him, just like so. And there you go. Now Megatron can have his fusion cannon as well. What else do we got here? You can also have his Energon laser sword here. The blade here is detachable. One thing I wish that this did was plug onto the gun here, because that's something that the Masterpiece Megatron did, but unfortunately that does not work. But oh well, not that big of a deal. And he can hold this too the same way, slot in the hand. So we can just bring his hand out here, and we can tab this in, just like so, and then wrap his fingers around it. And there you go. There is his Energon sword. And that is quite cool. So, yeah. And then let's go ahead and take this off here. And then you also get his Energon mace. Yes, there are a lot of accessories here. You also get his Energon mace here. It's just all transparent purple plastic. If you want to move it, there's a swivel here. It's just on a peg. And then each hinge on here is movable, so you can do all kinds of that. And to put this on, you just take off one of his hands here. Just completely remove that, and then take the mace and plug it on. So if you want to do that, you can do that. So, yeah. And then, because we have more, you also get, Laserbeak. And this guy is actually quite cool. He is pretty well articulated. There's a hinge at his neck here and a ball joint at the head. His feet are on a hinge. It's one piece. These can go up and down, and his wings are on hinges too. So if you want to get him in like a flying pose, you can do that. Or if you want to have him perch on Megatron's arm, you get these separate leg pieces with this port right here. And this port will swap out with these legs. So what you do is just pry this off here, just like so, and then take his regular legs out, and then put his new ones on, and then put his backpack back on. And now you have that, and the same thing we did for the fusion cannon will now happen here. We just remove this silver panel, and then put this one on, just like so. And then we can get Megatron here, or his arm at least, in position to hold Laserbeak. And then you can just plug Laserbeak on, just like so. And that to me is pretty cool. So yeah. Now the last, well, second to last actually, or no, not the last. The last accessory yet are some interchangeable faces. So this one here is his standard face, and you also get a happy Megatron face and angry Megatron face. So there you go. Now the reason I did not show that process is because you have to quite literally take his head apart almost completely to even switch out with one of these faces. And it's cool that you get the separate faces, but taking the head apart each time is almost a chore, especially when there's 4 different parts that make up the head, and they're all like pretty on there pretty securely, except for this top one here. Actually likes to, if I move his head around too much, you actually saw it earlier, it'll like to come up, but nah, it goes back down and stays for a while. But if you move his head for too long, it'll start to come up, and it's just a bit annoying. But yeah, so there you go. And of course, one thing I forgot to do was actually show comparisons with Laserbeak here. So just the only comparison we really need to do is with Buzzsaw here. This is the Legacy United Leader Class Soundwaves Buzzsaw. You can see he's only a little bit bigger than Buzzsaw here. So yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy back on here. That is it for the accessories. He does have a light up feature, so you get this Decepticon logo thing that has a magnet back here, and what you do is just tap that on his chest, and oh, look at that, he has lights. So the Decepticon logo on his chest lights up and his eyes light up. After a while they will dissipate and turn off, which you'll see here in just a moment, but I'm not going to stay silent until they turn off because then it will be awkward. But yeah, that light up feature is very nice. Depending on how you have the head positioned, you can kind of see the red light. There you go, they just turned off. You can kind of see the red light like seep through his neck, which kind of kills the illusion at certain angles, but it is not that bad. This piece is quite cool. Yeah, dope light up feature. That is very, very nice. But yep, the next accessory, or the last accessory I should say that you get, is this display base. And now this is pretty cool. So you have the base here, you get some pegs that Megatron can stand on, and you get this arm which has a hinge at the base, hinge here, and a hinge at the claw. And then to put Megatron on, you just got to press these 2 little rubber claws apart, and then to clip it around his waist, which I will show you very quickly. Just do this and slide it over him like that, and you could see he's a little hunched forward, but it's all right. I won't really use this if he's just like standing up straight. I'll probably put Laserbeak on there because you do get an attachment for Laserbeak, and I will show that. we can just take off the claw here, like so, and you get this little piece right here. It's very small, has a little black port, and you just press that onto there, like so. And then we can rotate around so that port is facing up top. And then we can take Laserbeak off of Megatron's arm here, put him in like a flight pose or something, and then you can just plug his feet onto there. And now you can have Laserbeak positioned on the flight stand, and that is very, very cool. So, yeah, pretty nice. But I'm going to put Laserbeak back on Megatron's arm because, yes. And then, you know, of course, take this back off and put the claw arm back on. So, yeah. And that is officially it for the accessories. Actually, I lied. One thing I forgot to say. Like I said before, you can take off the seat of the Nemesis here. And there's a cavity, and you can just take all of his useless accessories and drop those in there to never see the light of day again. But yeah. Okay. Now we are done with the accessories. So I'm only going to do a few comparisons here with Megatron, but for comparison, here he is with the Legacy United Leader Class Soundwave. I don't think they actually scale that bad together. On camera, it looks really bad, but in person, it's actually not that bad. He looks really small compared to Soundwave, and I think it's fucking hilarious. But yeah. Here he is with Earthrise Optimus Prime. Now this is a little odd. He's a little too small for my taste. I feel like SS86 Optimus Prime is gonna scale better with this dude. But yeah, so there you go. And then here he is with the Bumblebee Movie Studio Series Shockwave. Don't mind the pose. I just literally grabbed him off my shelf. I don't think these two scale that bad together at all. So there you go. And then last but certainly not least, here he is with my favorite Megatron, the Bumblebee Movie Concept Art Megatron. And that looks cool and nice together. Yeah. There you go. And that is pretty much it. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. So, there you go. So there you go, there's the Transformers Blokees Action Edition G1 Megatron. And before I give my final thoughts, you can take this thing, obviously, you know, give him the light up feature, that is freaking awesome, but you can also plug it on his stand, which is pretty cool. And same can be said for Laserbeak. But yeah, so there you go, this guy, even though he doesn't transform, it was still a fun process to build him. He's an incredibly solid figure. I have a few minor things, like the legs on mine are a little loose. They like to come off every now and then, but not that big of a deal. The light up feature is cool. He has a plethora of amazing accessories, except for Clumsy, because what the actual flip. His fusion cannon being able to open like that is pretty freaking dope. His proportions are great. He scales pretty okay with some of my other stuff, so I might put him on my G1 shelf. I don't know. But yeah. So there you go. This guy is pretty good. I do recommend picking up one for yourself. So, yeah. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. If you want to see more from my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.